Hello everybody and welcome to Broden Plays Dungeonmans. Now this is a series that I actually started a little while ago. I loved to play Dungeonmans. I did a very first impression series on it. I kind of showed you guys what it was about and all that kind of stuff, but then I found out that the audio and the recording was way off and you couldn't even hear me. So we're going to start all over. I'm going to delete this one. Yes, the story is over, and I'm going to found a new one. So, our story begins in a forgotten age, a legend lost in histories that were buried in old myth. On the unfamiliar shores of an untamed land, a hero strode forth to... No, don't be silly, that hero's not you. Strode forth to bring the light of knowledge and civilization to a wild continent known only as... Let's play. Yeah. This great hero upon the shores of Let's Play brought with him but one thing, the iron spirit of a Dungeonmans. There is no greater force than the Order of Dungeonmans. Each one a titan of monster-crushing greatness, an unparalleled treasure hunter, and a veteran of 1,000 battles. Here one of the eldest and greatest of their champions set out to spread the light of the Dungeonmans to a new land. The great hero set out to build a mighty Dungeonmans Academy, an institution of higher learning and martial training. One that would serve as a beacon of civilization to the terrified native villagers cowering in fear from what terror lurks outside their walls. The toil was not a small one, but eventually the academy began to accept its first students, bright-eyed young hopefuls willing to take up the cause and bring war to those who prey upon the just. So begins the story of one young candidate ready to embark on the rigorous years of study required to be a true Dungeonmans. Let us continue. What is the candidate's name? I'm going to use Broden, because that's my name. Alright, and we're going to... these are the different types of stats that you can have in your first Dungeonmans. I'm going to go ahead and do Strength 17, and we're going to be a Fightermans. We're going to be Southern Born, which gives us a bonus to maximum health, and we're going to do... Tireless. And we have 23 health, 21 stamina, 17 strength, 12 skills, 14 science, and 13 foom. And we will be a Fightermans to adventure. Now this game is a roguelike. It is randomly generated every single time that you start the game. So let's start with the headmaster, Crushfeld, which will tell us all about the Dungeonmans. Congratulations, Broden. As the first graduate of the Dungeonmans Academy, there is much that rests upon your shoulders. This wild, untamed world is yours to explore, wander, and protect before you go. I can offer some exceedingly brief words of advice to nudge you in the right direction. Do you care to hear them? Please, I'm all ears. Broden, know these things well. First, danger lies to the east and south. The farther you go, the darker and more cunning your foes become. As you venture far from civilization, know also that the danger will increase. If you grow too bold and are surrounded by foes you are not equal to, none can save you but yourself. Surely there is more to this world than wild beasts. In the farthest corner of the land lives the dread Purpolonians, a vile race that is the enemy of all good men. What twisted master they serve is unknown to us, but there is no doubt that the dread Purpolonians are the greatest known threat and should be crushed once and for all. Should you keep your wits and fortune smile, perhaps the crusher shall be you. Let us not get ahead of ourselves. The dread Purpolonians are the greatest threat. Got it. This academy is your home, and you are always welcome here. Should you find any academy artifacts, bring them here post-haste. They will provide benefit not only for yourself, but for other students who graduate here. Should you fall, our academy grows through your efforts alone. As it so happens, there's an academy artifact just outside our walls. A stinking flock of scrowballs invaded our halls in the dead of night and made off with our only triple-coiled decalcinator. The hearts of our alchemy lab. If you happen to stumble across it in your travels, return it to me. A quest! I love quests! No, dear Broden, there are no great quests set before you. Your path is your own, and where it takes you, none can say. Seek not guidance from humble townsfolk or snooty lords. A Dungeonmans builds legends alone. I understand, thank you. That is all I have for you. Should you seek yet more advice, visit the Wall of Text. Just down the hall from here, knowledge everlasting, should you choose to endure it. Go now, adventure with courage and fire in your heart to make the Order of Dungeonmans proud. Alright, so the first thing that I want to talk about this game is, first off, I love the humor. The wall of text is something that is in Dungeons and Dragons, and it is something that the Dungeon Master will pull out a wall of text and none can avoid its power. You must stop what you're doing and read the wall of text. And the wall of text usually tells you about creatures, about things that are happening inside the dungeon, or tells you a little bit about the city that you're in. So it's nice to have that little bit of a sense of humor for somebody who plays Dungeons and Dragons. I think it's very fascinating. Another thing that I will tell you is with this roguelike, with this academy right here, each time that you, let's see if we right click. Okay, nothing happens. Each time that you die, anything that you put into the academy will continue to the next student. So it's a roguelike that's procedurally generated, but at the same time, with each death, you get a little bit more powerful that you can come into the next game and be a little bit more powerful. Let's go ahead and do the convenient Skobald Warren. Scrobald, my apologies. Kind of like scrotum. That's very interesting. Foolish red creatures setting up their squalid home not a stone's throw away from the Dungeonmans Academy. It is as if they wanted to be crushed. Broden keeps a watchful eye, careful, cautious, on guard. And I am. So this is a turn-based game. Each time that we move and do something, we take a turn. And the enemy takes a turn as well. So, let's find our first little enemy and we'll crush him with the might of Broden. Alright, here we are. Cha! 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 He is dead. He is dead. Now, if you notice, I am picking up gold and items as we go forth. Now, I will talk a little bit about the game, and this is the only time that I will talk about these particular things, so pay attention if you will. These are our skills. We have 4 of them as of right now. There's a shield rush. It requires a one-hand axe, hammer, or sword with a shield. Rush an enemy with your shield from up to 5 tiles away, causing them to lose their next action. That enemy and nearby enemies cannot make ranged or magic attacks for 2 rounds. Then you have press the attack, which requires a 2-handed axe, hammer, or sword. Take 1 step forward and swing wide in front of you, damaging enemies you advance toward and causing them to bleed. Great for catching slippery ranged guys. Stupid ranged guys. High guard requires shields. You hunker down and raise your shield, giving you a powerful block bonus for a few rounds. If you block during this time, you'll get a free counterattack. Battle fervor requires real armor. Roar into combat with tireless endurance, thrusting your heavy armor to protect you. You take 30% less damage. Physical damage. Shake off any bleeding or poison. Getting hit by physical attacks restores your stamina, and each killing blow you deal restores 5% of your max health. If you look over here in the bottom right hand corner, this is our health right here. It's the red bar, and our stamina is the yellow bar. We have 21 stamina and 29 health. Each one of these things actually costs stamina. If you see at the very bottom, stamina 4, stamina 7, stamina 3, stamina 5. Now, as we progress and level up, the level up system is a little bit interesting. So we have these different tabs here that we can click on, like Batterman's, Necromancer, Rangerman's, Wizardman's, Fighterman's, Armor and You, Adventure 101. The thing that is nice about this, however, is you can actually upgrade, once you get a level, any of these. But over here you have to be like a particular level, and then you have to be a particular level on this one as well. So, what's very nice about this is if you wanted to play a hybrid, the game allows you to play a hybrid. I'm not sure how well the hybrids work out because I have not yet tried one, but that's one thing that I will be doing in this series is we will be trying a hybrid. For now, we're just doing a Fighterman's. For this slime, I'm actually going to show you some of the skills. I'm going to use a shield bash. Wow, I'm so sorry. There are a couple of options that I have enabled in this game that I think are very important to enable. The first one is the health bar. If you go in the options menu, you can actually enable the health bar for the slime. The reason why that's important is because if we attack it, you can see the health bar go down and you know how much health it has. Otherwise, it's very difficult to determine how much health the monster has. The second one is if I click a skill, it'll show us tiles of where the skill will affect. The tiles are not there normally, it just is the yellow and blue square. So it's a little bit different. I like it because it gives me a little bit more of a tactical advantage, so it's something that you may want to consider. So I'm going to shield rush this guy. Boom. So we do 9 damage, and another thing with the shield rush, they lose their next action, and it cannot make ranged or magic attacks for 2 rounds. So he just had to sit there while we killed him. We'll do the same to this gentleman. all of these things that I'm picking up do go to my inventory. So if I click I, this is my inventory so far. So we actually have a copper longsword +1. It does 1d6 +1 damage, which right now I'm only doing 1d4 damage. So I will equip that because that's a lot better. Also, there's a bendy iron heater. It has 8 shield instead of 5 shield, and I'm going to actually use that. These are scrolls. You don't have the scrolls. When you first get the scrolls, none of them are identified, so you have no idea what the scrolls do. Same thing with the potions in roguelike fashion. One thing that is nice, however, is that if you upgrade your a couple of things in your academy, then they will actually automatically show you level 1 scrolls and level 1 potions, level 2 scrolls, level 2 potions, level 3, you know, respectively. So let us continue onward. We are doing a lot more damage now, and I'm not worried about taking a little bit of damage. We'll shield rush this guy. I should probably show off the other skills that are in this game as well, so I will do this with this next attacks. So this one right here, High Guard, you hunker down and raise your shield, giving you a powerful block bonus for the next few rounds. If you block during this time, you'll get a free counterattack. I'll utilize that. So my block is increased. Now if we do block, boom, we counterattack, just like that. And it's a free counterattack too. So that's what happened there, and I like the animation, to be honest with you. Alright. Another thing, this green bar right here, this is our experience. So we have 104 out of 120 experience before we level up to level 2. And each enemy it's showing us how much experience it's getting right here. So that guy gave us 8 experience. I'm going to shield rush this guy, and it'll make us level up. So we are now level 2, which is incredibly exciting. So what we can do is we can actually spend a point in any of these areas. I like to spend a point in, first off, Shieldcraft. Shield Mastery grants large shield use, grant bulwark passive power, and improves shield rush and high guard. Polearms may be used with shields. Large shields provide excellent defense but reduce your maximum stamina while equipped. Bulwark. While using a large shield, you gain a +3% bonus to block each round, and you remain in the same spot. This stacks up to 15% total. So we will actually do that. And the reason why is because if I get a large shield, I want to equip it. Plus, if I get a polearm, I want to equip the polearm with a shield. So, let us continue this way. I like to explore the entirety of the dungeon before I move on to the next floor. So let's see if we have. You can pull up the map right here. So we have discovered a lot of it. Right down here, we haven't discovered any of that. However, you know, we're level 2. I kind of want to go down to the next level anyway. So we're going to do that. And if you see, my health and my stamina has increased just a bit from leveling up. So it's nice to do that. It's nice to level up because then you have a little bit more power beyond you. And one thing that is cool, it doesn't really explain it in the tutorial or anything like that. Right here, Adventurous, that is the difficulty level of the current dungeon that you're in, in regards to your level. So if it said dangerous, then we probably won't want to be there. If it says adventurous, then we do. If it says mundane, then it means it's not going to really provide you with much experience. Not only that, but the enemies aren't really going to do anything to you, so it's just going to be boring. Or mundane. Very fitting word. So just shield rushing these guys. The first couple of levels are a bit easier. Here's a magic using guy, so we will shield rush him and then kill him so he doesn't outrange us. So the first couple of levels are pretty darn easy, to be honest with you. You kind of just fly through them, especially if you got good stats like we did. We got a lot of strength, which is very good for a fighter-man. So we are pretty much dominating right now. But as the game progresses, it gets relatively harder. This isn't one of those roguelikes in which is incredibly hard first off, but it does get there. So you just have to be a little bit patient if that's the kind of game that you like. So with this guy, I will do Battle Fervor. Roar into combat with tireless endurance, trusting your heavy armor to protect you. You take 30% less physical damage, shake off any bleeding or poison. Getting hit by physical attacks restores your stamina, and each killing blow restores 5% of your maximum health. So we will attack, and we get more health each time we kill an enemy while this is active. So now we have 35 health. So, and we will shield bash this guy if we can. Nope, there was this Dynamite in the way. I should have seen that. Alright, so now we have to start worrying about health. We have a little more than half health. One thing that is nice is as you continue to move, you do gain stamina and health back. So if you can move and kill enemies faster than they kill you, then that is a good way to get health back. Now that is the end of this episode. I will go ahead and record the next episode right after this, so stay tuned guys. Thank you so much for joining me and have a wonderful day.